Greetings, seekers of truth and explorers of the occult. Welcome to this virtual sanctuary where we will reveal the mysteries of the universe and uncover the deepest secrets of existence. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and become members of this enlightened community. Share this video with others who also yearn for knowledge. Together, we shall walk the path of esoteric and transcendental wisdom. Remember, every man and every woman is a star. Abraxas, the central deity in the Basilidian Gnostic cosmology, is a being who transcends the simplistic dichotomies of good and evil, light and darkness, and human experience limited by conventional morality. His true nature and meaning are profoundly esoteric, rooted in the worldviews that emerged in the first centuries of our era. To many, he remains a mysterious and misunderstood figure. However, for the Gnostics, Abraxas is the manifestation of the totality of the cosmos, a symbol of a supreme deity that represents the unity between opposites and the creative and destructive force of the universe. Basilides, one of the most important Gnostic thinkers of the 2nd century, was born in Alexandria, a city that at the time was a meeting point for the most complex philosophical, religious, and esoteric traditions in the world. Hellenistic Alexandria was the birthplace of an intense exchange of ideas, and Gnosticism, with its profound concepts of knowledge and reality, found fertile ground for its development. Basilides developed a unique cosmology that sought to explain the origins and mechanisms of the universe, combining influences from Platonic thought, early Christianity, Egyptian occultism, and Eastern philosophy. In Basilides' view, the universe was a place of emanations. Everything that existed had a divine origin in an incomprehensible principle, which he called Bythos, the depth. Bythos, as the source of all existence, was immutable and absolutely transcendent, a reality beyond human comprehension. From Bythos, other emanations arose, forming a system of spiritual beings. These beings, or aeons, represented different aspects of the divine reality, and their relationships were complex, involving light and darkness, creation and destruction, harmony and chaos. Abraxas is, in Basilidian philosophy, one of the most important figures. He is not merely a creation or emanation of Bythos, but a manifestation of the dynamic balance between the forces that govern the universe. Abraxas is not simply good or evil, but a synthesis of both, reflecting the true nature of the deity, which is beyond human comprehension. The image of Abraxas is both fascinating and unsettling. He is often described as having the head of a winged god, with a serpent coiled at his feet and the body of a man. His figure is not merely human but also animal, reflecting his nature as the totality of the cosmos. The serpent, a powerful symbol in the Gnostic tradition, suggests a connection to esoteric knowledge and hidden wisdom. The winged head and human form indicate that Abraxas transcends the limitations of matter and the physical world. He is the conjunction of all cosmic forces, and his presence, both threatening and divine, reflects the ambiguous nature of reality. The central question that arises is, how can we classify Abraxas? Is he a god or a demon? As a god, he could be a benevolent figure, guiding human beings on their spiritual journey. As a demon, he could be a destructive force, bringing suffering and devastation. However, a simplistic approach does not do justice to the complexity of Abraxas. Rather than being seen in terms of polarities, Abraxas represents a figure who transcends the categories of good and evil. He is not the god who saves, nor the demon who punishes, but the very process of creation and destruction, of ascension and fall, which is essential to the existence of the cosmos. In Gnostic thought, duality is not an obstacle to be overcome, but a reality to be accepted and understood. The concept of Abraxas teaches us that good and evil, creation and destruction, are inseparable and coexist inherently within the nature of the cosmos. This is a radically different view from traditional monotheistic beliefs, where evil is typically seen as something to be eradicated. Key representation of Abraxas in Gnostic sources is rich in symbolism, with each aspect of his image carrying profound meaning. For example, the winged head suggests his connection to the spiritual realm, the world of ideas, and the higher cosmic forces. The serpent, often seen as a symbol of forbidden or hidden wisdom, represents the power of transformation and spiritual awakening. It can also be viewed as a symbol of vital energy, which is in constant movement and change, reflecting the dynamic nature of the cosmos. Abraxas's human body symbolizes the interconnection between the spiritual and physical worlds. He is not a distant and impersonal deity, but a force that permeates all layers of reality, from the highest to the lowest. His human form suggests that he is intimately connected to human experience, being, in a sense, both a reflection of humanity and at the same time something beyond it. Finally, the relationship between Abraxas and the serpent can be interpreted in several ways. For the Gnostics, the serpent was an ambiguous figure, representing both divine wisdom and danger or temptation. Abraxas, with his serpent, personifies this ambiguity, challenging conventional ideas of purity and impurity, of good and evil. He teaches us that wisdom is not found in a safe and unchanging place, but something that must be earned by confronting the shadows and darkness within ourselves. To fully understand Abraxas, it is necessary to recognize that he represents the totality of the cosmos. He is the active principle that creates and destroys, and his ambiguous nature reflects the complexity of the universe. In many religious traditions, creation and destruction are seen as separate and opposing forces. However, for the Gnostics, these forces are inseparable, and it is in the interaction between them that the cosmos manifests. Abraxas is the synthesis of these opposites. He is not a being who only creates, but also destroys. He is not a benevolent God who brings salvation, but a cosmic force that brings both light and darkness. He is, therefore, a figure who challenges our conventional conceptions of divinity and invites us to a deeper and more expansive view of the universe. Although Abraxas is most directly associated with Basilidian Gnosticism, he also has parallels in other religious and philosophical traditions. His figure is compared to other deities that represent the totality of the cosmos and the union of opposites. However, it is important to note that Abraxas possesses a uniqueness that sets him apart. In Egyptian mythology, for example, we find figures like the god Atum, who also represents the totality of the cosmos and the creation of the universe. Atum, like Abraxas, is both creator and destroyer, representing the forces of order and chaos that coexist in the universe. Similarly, the figure of Abraxas can be seen as a manifestation of the cosmic energies that are simultaneously creative and destructive. In early Christianity, some Gnostic currents also spoke of the need to reconcile opposites, although these ideas were often suppressed by religious authorities. Abraxas, in many ways, represents the radical nature of these ideas, challenging established religious norms and showing that truth cannot be reduced to a simplistic morality. In esoteric practice, Abraxas plays a central role. He is invoked by those who seek to transcend duality and achieve a higher state of consciousness. The journey of the initiate is one of transformation, where it is necessary to learn to integrate the opposing forces within oneself. The initiation process involves confronting the inner shadows, facing evil and suffering, and transcending these limitations to attain a deeper and truer understanding of reality. By invoking Abraxas, the initiate is called to recognize the presence of opposites in all things, to perceive that good and evil, light and darkness, are parts of the same reality. He is not a god to be worshipped on an altar, but an active force that provokes internal transformation. Through understanding Abraxas, the initiate begins to perceive the totality of the universe and their own divine nature. In modern Western thought, Abraxas has been re-evaluated and reinterpreted by various esoteric movements. His name and symbolism have been used by occultists and contemporary mystics as a representation of cosmic unity and the transcendence of opposites. His image has been adopted by figures who interpret the deity of Abraxas as a psychological symbol, representing the collective unconscious and the elements of inner polarity, such as the process of integrating the shadow. The figure of Abraxas has appeared in occultist practices, in movements like Thelema. While it does not focus directly on Abraxas, the emphasis on integrating opposites, particularly in the form of light and shadow, resonates deeply with Abraxas's nature. The deity in Thelemic thought is seen as a transcendental force that cannot be captured by simplistic monotheistic categories, and this view is clearly parallel to the Gnostic idea of Abraxas. Abraxas, as the supreme deity in Basilidian Gnosticism, represents a radically different view of divinity compared to traditional beliefs. He is the synthesis of opposites, the creative and destructive force that sustains the cosmos. By integrating these opposites, Abraxas teaches us that truth is not simple and one-dimensional, but something that must be experienced in all its complexity. On the spiritual journey, The seeker must learn to recognize the presence of Abraxas in all things, understanding that good and evil, light and darkness are part of the same reality. He is not a god to be venerated on an altar, but a force to be incorporated, understood, and lived. In the search for truth, the initiate is challenged to transcend duality and achieve a deeper vision of reality. Abraxas, as a symbol of cosmic totality, is the guide that leads the seeker to this truth, showing that true divinity cannot be limited by our human conceptions of good and evil. He is at once both God and demon, light and shadow, creator and destroyer, and by understanding him, the seeker approaches the true nature of the cosmos and their own being. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the mysteries of the universe and the occult. Your presence and participation are essential to our community. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications so you won't miss upcoming episodes. Share it with friends and family who also seek knowledge. I appreciate all your support and company. 93.